So good morning everyone. We are the group number 4. And this morning we'll tackle the topic about safety and gymnastics. But before anything else, allow me to introduce myself. I'm 𝚂𝚁𝙾𝙼𝙾𝚄𝙿, together with my co-reporters, Ms. Jennifer 𝚂𝚁𝙸𝙲𝚂, 𝚂𝚒𝚍𝚘 and 𝚂𝚒𝚍𝚘𝚾. So we have here the 4 subtopics that will be discussed. The first one is importance of safety protocols. Second, proper sparring techniques. Third, common injuries and prevention. And the last one is emergency procedures. So let's start the safety protocols and gymnastics. So safety protocols and gymnastics are crucial to ensure the well-being of athletes and minimize the risk of injuries. Because sa gymnastic manggod involves ang complex movements like flips, twists, and high-impact landings, which can be dangerous if not performed correctly. So, here are the several reasons why safety protocols are important. The first one is prevention of injuries. Prevention of injuries, malikayan din nato ang mga injury, any injuries or accidents kung magsunod ta sa or magbuhat ta sa safety protocols like mag-warm up daan before ta magsugod sa ato ang activity. And then, paggamit po sa mga safety mats or mga safety equipments o correct spotting techniques, kay dako ka siya tabang para ma-reduce ang posibilidad nga makuanta sprain, fractures, or any more serious injuries. So, dapat yun nga sundon yun nato ang safety protocols para safe ang gymnast o mabuhat po niya or ma-perform niya og sakto. And then, the second one is building confidence. Makatabang po siya para ma-build or ma-boost ang confidence sa usa ka athletes or player kung makabalo sila nga ana nga lugar or ana nga area kung asa sila mag-perform is safety sila. So, ug dinana iyang kuan kung unsa ka secure ang iyang area. Mabuhat niya ang mga bisag unsa nga movements ug unsa pa na kalisod kay naman sa iyang hunahuna nga safety siya dayon dili siya mag-goal during sa iyang pag-perform nga masakitan kay kabalo man siya ka safe siya. And then development of proper techniques. Safety protocols often include guidance on how to execute movements correctly. So, makatabang na siya para ma-develop ang good habits and form sa usa ka gymnast kung kabalo sila unsaon pag-execute or pagbuhat sa sakto nga movements. Dayon, dako kay naslantabang sa ilaha. Both sa ilahang kuan, safety and long-term success in the sport. Kay once manggod nga mahanas na ang usa ka athletes or gymnast, so magkaya na gid sila kanang hanas gid sila, so malikayan na gyud ang ilahang kuan ang mga dili maayo nga or mga injury nga may tabo. And then the fourth is ensuring safe equipment usage. Equipment in gymnastic is dapat gid siya kuan kanang ma-check gid siya para sa anang balance beam and even bars or bisag unsa nga mga equipments nga ginagamit during sa mga gymnastic. So, dapat po nga ma-maintain siya o ginagamit pa siya according sa guidelines. Dayon, kabalo po dapat ang mga gymnasts or athletes kung unsaon paggamit ang mga equipments nga ilang ginagamit during sa ilang perform kay para malikay ang mga unnecessary nga mga accidents o dapat po siya, ma-regular po siya og check kung naabay mga defect. Kay delikado man gud kaayo sa usa ka gymnastics nga or athletes nga dili safe ang ilahang kuan, ang ilang mga equipments. Mao na hinungdan nga makakos sa ilaha og mga accidents or injuries. And then the fifth one is coach and spotter responsibilities. Safety protocols ensures that coaches and spotters are adequately trained to assist gymnasts. Spotter is kana bitaw kuan kanang sa athletes na sila kauban duol sa ilaha. So mao na siya kay kuan man na siya kanang dito yun na siya diha or dapat naa sila diha kay para in case of emergency nga masayop sila sa ilang mga landings or unsa pa nga mga movements, mga complex movements, andam sila nga mutabang or musalo sa panahon sa ilahang mga kuan sa ilang mga falls. And then responsibility pud sa coach ug spotters no nga dapat gyud nga mo assist gid sila sa ilahang players or athletes kay para asa pud nga coach o kuan nagpa-coach sila unya mismo sa sila or sa ilang kaugalingon sila kabalo kung unsaon ang sakto or unsaon pag-assist sa ilahang kuan ilahang player. So dapat gyud hanasid kaayo sila og well trained gyud sila kay sila may nakabalo kung sakto ba or dili ang gina-perform sa usa ka gymnast. And then emergency preparedness. So importante jud kay ning emergency preparedness no kay in case of accident nga kanang mahitabo, so andam na gid sila nga pagsunod sa kanang protocols outline procedure about sa kanang first aid, and andam po sila nga makontak dayon nila ang mga emergency services para makaluwas sila kinabuhi ug para pod nga kanang matabang pa dayon ang mga athletes kung na-injury manggaling or unsa pa. And then sa kuan po dayon no sabi dabay sa safety protocols po, not only in gymnastics, but also in any different activities, like indoor or outdoors, para ma-ensure nga safety ang tanan. And then, safety protocols in gymnastics protects athletes from injury, build their confidence, and promote long-term athletic development. So, importante gid kaayo, importante jud kaayo sa pagsunod sa kanang safety protocols para malikayan ang mga delikado nga mga aksidente or mga injuries. And then, para pod ma-maintain nga safe ang tanan or safe ang athletes or gymnasts sa ilahang pag-perform. So, that should be all and thank you. So, the next reporter will Miss Jennifer Liccedo, the proper spotting techniques.
Turn everyone. So our next topic is the proper techniques of spotting. So did you all know that the spotting is a fundamental aspect of gymnastic training, and always remember that we are in athletes and safety is our top priority when we are dealing with training, flexibility, and etc. So when it comes to spotting, or we are learning about spotting, it is very important to have communication between the gymnast and the coaches. So dapat kung mag-discuss or mag-explain ang mga coaches, we need to listen carefully or understand each, and if you are kanang wala ka sabot sa mga topic, you should ask them kung saan ang proper ana. Okay, so now let's go on to the basic of spotting. So these spotting techniques can vary depending on the skills performed. So siya is depende ni siya sa inyong mga gina-train or sa inyong mga gina-practicean when it comes to spotting. So siya is mga basic principle applied the most situation. Siya ginagamit ni siya or kanang common nga ginagamit when it comes to spotting or kanang training mo sa spotting of gymnastics. So we have first the hand replacement. So spotters should place their hand in specific position to provide the most effective support. So when it comes to spotting, we need to know how to replace our hands and aron dili ta ma-injury. And this is very kanang important to know kung asa na to ibutang atong kamot kay when it comes to gymnastic training and spotting. It is very important that we know how to manage our hand and also to prevent on the injury. So next we have the focus on balance. So spotter must help gymnasts maintain their balance during these skills. So when it comes to gymnastics, it is very important that we have balance on our body and also kanang to correct alignment and also prevent fall. So naman siya, there are a lot of kanang mga utensils or equipment or apparatus na ginagamit nato sa gymnastic, but we have the common na ginagamit, which is the katong balance beam. Yes, balance beam. So kato siya is very important dito that we all know how to balance our body para dili tama hulog or to prevent fall. So next we have the gradual release. So as gymnasts become more confident and proficient in skills, spotters should gradually reduce their resistance. This process allows gymnasts to gain independent, develop the strength and control needed to perform a skill independently. So kani siya is very important no nga kabalo taon sa ano to pag asa ta mubuhi or ahan na ta dapit mubuhi atong mga ginagamit atong equipment, especially kung kanang maghawid na ta atong mga bars na kanang uneven or katong mga parallel ni nga bars na kinahanglan kabalo ta kung asa ta mubuhi aron atong landing is safety. So now let's go on to the spotting technique for specific gymnastic apparatus. So kabalo man tanong nga if you're training in gymnastic, nakita mga different types of mga ginagamit nila, and this is the common use of spotting training. So we have the balance dim, katagigan ko ganihan. Yes, it is important to spotter to balance and focus on guiding the gymnast movement with aligned touch and providing support when necessary. The primary goal is to prevent fall and reduce risk in injury. So kabalo man tanong nga, dapat kung mag-apil tag mga gymnastic ato ang body is kabalo ta, and we know the capacity of our body. So it is important that we all know how to balance, and especially when eating, no, kabalo taon sa pagbalance sa food, di man gina mag-start sa food and padulong siya sa atong body, and aron ma-apply na nato siya and dili ta duol sa kanang mabalian o magsakit nga na. So this is the use when ipakita na ko sa inyo picture mo na siya. So mo na siya ang balance team, and it is the use kang kanang bitang ginagamit na siya kung isa ra ka tiil nga na kung mag-gymnastic na mo or katong inyong duha ka hands na mag-balance mo. And next we have the bars, uneven and parallel bars. Kani siya mo ni siya nakita niyo sa akong likod. So for bar routines, spotter assist with swing, release and dismount. So kani siya unsaon ninyo diha mabalaan ninyo siya kung kanang kanus ang mubuhi, and this is very important nga kabaluta kung unsaon nato, kung asa ta nga tayo mubuhi na or kanang asa tayo mohawi didto kay kanang pag-swing nimo. It is very important nga kabaluta aron ma-prevent nato ang falls, no, kanang ma-injury ta kay mali ang paglanding nato pagkabuhi nato didto aron sakto atong pagkalanding. So next we have the vault. Vaulting is a high-speed event making a proper spotting crucial. So gymnasts help gymnasts achieve height and rotation while ensuring a safe landing. So kani siya is ginagamit din siya. Katon siya kani siya man siya ipakita na ko sa likod niyo. Yes, kana siya. Mo na siya ginagamit no kung gusto ka nga kanang pag ano mo da pag landing mo diha is mo kuan na siya, mo na siya na spring nga kanang pwede ka ipataas ana depende sa paglanding nimo. So mo na siya ang gamit sa vaulting.
So moving on, I will be discussing to you the safety in gymnastics in common injuries and preventions. So as we all know, gymnastic injuries is one of the highest rates injuries in all sports because of the repetitive stress injuries and instability issues. And there are always a question in our minds on how do we prevent injuries to happen. So as we all know, gymnastics is very prone to accident. The answer is that we can prevent injuries and accident to happen, but what we can do is to implement practices which could help to lessen the injuries to happen. So moving on, we will be tackling about the common injuries. So the common injuries are ankle sprain fractures injuries, wrist injuries, ACL tears injuries, low back pain injuries, elbow dislocation, Achilles tendon injuries, shoulder injuries, patellar tendonitis injuries, meniscus tears injuries, and head injuries. First is the ankle sprain fracture injuries. So an ankle sprain occurs when the ligaments surrounding the ankle joint are stretched or torn due to a sudden twist or roll in the ankle. A fracture involves a break in one or more bones in the ankle joints, such as tibia, fibula, or talos. Both injuries commonly occur during high-impact activities or awkward landings which are frequent in gymnastics. So as we all know, ang mga tiil ang atong ginagamit sa gymnastic. So especially pag mag-back tumbling ta and also sa pag landing nato. So ang tiil jud ang ginagamit to control the move of our body. Sila ang sila ang stability sa ang body pag mag-landing na ta. And then ang tanan nga control is naa sa imuhang feet. And then, if pag dili na nimo siya makontrol or kung dili nimo magamit ang sakto nga technique ana, that's why magka-create ka og ankle sprain. Samot na og kaning ma-roll nimo ay imuhang feet or kaning magsayaw-sayaw ka due to kaning pagland nimo, and then ha ka magka-ankle sprain. And if ever pag yun na kaning kusog kayo ang impact sa paglanding nimo, there are kaning possible nga magka-fracture ka, which is na kay mga bones sa imuhang kaning ankle nga kaning mabuak or mabroke. So that was the ankle sprain fracture, which is very common siya sa gymnastics. So the second one of injuries, or the most common injuries, is the wrist injuries. Wrist injuries are among the most common problems to gymnasts face due to the physical demands of the sport. Movements such as handstand, tumbling, vaulting, place significant pressure on the wrist, making them vulnerable to the sprains and fractures. These injuries occur when the wrist experiences excessive force of twisted beyond its normal range of motion, leading to damage to either the ligaments sprain or the bones fracture. So the second common is the wrist injuries. So as we all know, ang ato ang mga kamot is ato ang sa gymnastic, ginagamit nila through sa vault or sa tumbling. And then, they openly use our hands. And then, pag sige siya og kagamit, there could be a possible nga mahimo siya og kaning stress injuries or kaning magkaroon siya og instability issues sa atong hands. Tungod kay sige man siya gamit, ma-overuse na siya, and then there could be a possible nga ma-injured siya. Samot na og kaning wala nimo na proper o kaning na proper ang na wala nimo na use ang proper hand placement ana nga kaning area sa gymnastics. Samot na og naa ka sa vault kay pag naa ka sa vault, ang pressure gyud is ang atuang hands, especially sa tumbling. So the proper technique is the hand placement of the control of your body nga sa imuhang kamot ginapaagi. So it is very important nga kaning may bal-an nato ang wrist injuries. Tungod kay if na kay wrist injuries is dili na ka maka-focus, and then dili ka comfortable, and then mag-swelling na siya or mag-red na siya, maghubag. So it is very important to know the wrist injuries and what are the cause para matagaan siya o kaning immediate action, because our kaning wrist is continue growing, our bones is continue growing, and then pag magka-injuries to or possible nga bad pagid siya like fracturing nga kaning fracturing ato ang mga kaning ang ato ang mga bukog diri sa ato ang wrist is kaning mabuak or magkahiwalay na, and then there could be a possible nga kaning dili na gina siya maulian kung dili nato siya o kaning tagaan og pagtagad like proper treatment actions or therapy para niana. So the third common injuries is the ACL tears injuries. So ACL tears are severe knee injuries common happen in gymnastics caused by overstretching the ligament during high impact activities like sudden pivots, awkward landings, or jumps. The excessive force on the knee can result in a partial or complete tear, leading to pain, swelling, and knee instability. So ACL, known as the anterior cruciate ligament. So the anterior cruciate ligament is makita na siya in the middle of our knee. So it prevents the shin bone from sliding out in front of our thigh bone. So makita ninyo dira sa pictures, dira is nag-crack siya, dira sa kaning in the middle, nag-crack siya. That is the ACL tears injury. So unsa may hinungdan nganong kaning mag-crack na siya or mag-tear na siya? It's because of kaning ma-overstretch siya. Samot na kay ang gymnastics is magsige siya og lukso, o tapos mulanding pud siya nga through kaning grabe ang paglanding kanang ma-stretch siya, samot na og kaning wala na handle og ayo ang proper landing kung kaning wala niya nabuhat ang sakto nga technique. There could be a possible nga mag-crack na siya. And then pag mag-crack ang ato ang kaning ACL, magkakos na siya og kaning sakit kayo, pain, makakos siya og pain. That's why ang uban dayon maghubag na dayon, dili na ka himutang kay sakit na kaayo. And there are so many things, immediate actions nga ginakuha nato sa ato ang mga doctor which is very expert sa kaning gymnastics is kaning nana sila pagabuhaton. And then very important kaayo nga mabalaan nato ni ang ACL tears injuries para kaning ma-prevent nato o kaning para mabalaan po nato kaning kung unsay angay buhaton pag mahitabo ni sa ato, especially sa mga gymnastics. So it because of the excessive force of our knee sa pag-perform sa gymnastics, and also sa paglanding or sa pag-overstretch. Tungod kay ang gymnastics is kaning daghan kay siya rule na mag-back tumbling, na mag-vault, mag-handstand, and then our knee is kaning control, dapat controlled kay siya, dapat naka-extend gyud siya, ug tapos sa pag kaning landing po dapat gyud kaning naka-bend gyud siya, dapat dili kay kaning naka-stand up ka. Kay if in case wala ka ka-bend, ang pagtugpap nimo, ang pressure is naa sa imuhang tuhod. And that's why nga mag-crack pud siya. So, that is the ACL tears injuries. So, the next one is the low back pain injuries. Low back pain injuries in gymnastics is a common issue among gymnasts, typically caused by repetitive strain or injury to the muscle, ligaments, or disc in the lower back. Given the intense physical demands of gymnastics, which require frequent bending, twisting, and hyperextension of the spine, gymnasts are at high risk of developing low back pain over time. So as we all know, as a gymnast is gina-control gud ang atuang body. And ang ga-control sa atuang lawas is ang atuang spine. So kaning sa gymnastic is ga-bend sila, ga-twist sila, unya ga-hyperextension pa sila. And then, there could be a possible nga na ay repetitive strain. Pag magsige sila o kaning hyperextension sa pagtumbling nila, sa pag-vault nila, or sa floor. So, there could be a possible nga na ay mga ligaments or muscles nga ma-disturb sa ato ang lawas. Samot na o kaning wala siya na properly o kaning perform or proper way to do or to execute ana nga kaning ana nga routine. And then, pag maay mga muscles, ligaments dira sa ato ang diri sa ato ang kaning kuan na nabikil gamay, there could be a possible nga magka lower back pain injuries ka. So it is very important nga kaning ma-actionan siya diretso. Tungod kay there could be a possible nga pag dili siya ma-actionan diretso or ma-therapy or kaning ma-first aid or unsa pa na dira, there could be a possible nga mas mulala pag yun ang sakit. And then there could be a possible nga mahiwi or maghiwi ang imuhang likod. So it is very important to know the low back pain injuries. Samot na diri sa kaning dapit sa diri sa ato ang hawak. So the next one is the elbow dislocation. So elbow dislocation is a severe injury where the bones of the elbow joint are forced out of alignment. The elbow is a complex joint made up of three bones: the upper arm bone or the humerus, and the two bones in the forearm, radius and ulna. When these bones are dislocated, the joint becomes unstable, resulting to severe pain, loss of motion, and swelling. So as we all know, in gymnastic, ang atuang kamot ang atong ginagamit sa pagstance, because the upper extremity is ang atuang hands ang ga-control sa atuang body. Just like sa balance beam, naay part na mag-tumbling ang kaning isa ka gymnast and then i-control ang iyahang hands. And also sa ring, sa vault. So our hands is the very common use sa gymnastic, and it is very important to control ug ma-execute na to siya properly para dili ta magka-create og elbow dislocation. Kay once nga dili na nimo siya ma-perform og tarong, and then there could be a possible nga kanang mga bone nimo sa arm like the humerus and the radius and ulna ma-separate siya, and then there could be a possible nga ma-dislocate ang imuhang bone. And then sakit kaayo na siya, and then maghubag yun na siya, and then ma-feel yun nimo nga ang imuhang bones is na-separate yun siya, na-dislocate yun siya. So it is very important in gymnastic nga kaning mag-create or mag-exercise good or i-execute properly para kaning ma-enhance imong mga muscles o imong mas strong pa gyud ang mga ligaments. So the next one is the Achilles tendon injury. So what is the Achilles tendon injuries? So Achilles tendon injuries is refers to the condition affecting the Achilles tendon, which is connects to the calf muscle to the heel bone of calcaneus. This tendon plays a crucial role in walking, running, jumping, and other activities requiring the foot push-up. In gymnastic, where explosive movement and jumps are common, in Achilles tendon is frequently subjected to intense stress, making it susceptible to injury. So, ang Achilles tendon injuries is most commonly ni siya is kaning makita gud nato ni siya sa floor routine. Nga naman, sa floor routine is ginagamit nato ang atuang feet sa pagland. And then there is a running, jumping activities like walking, running, and jumping nga magamit nato sa tuang body. And then ang control nato ana sa pagland is ang atuang feet. And then makita ninyo sa likod is there are bones called Achilles tendon kaning sa atuang kiting bitaw. Kabantay man naka-highlight dira sa kaning picture, the red one sa left side and also sa right side na apod. Kanang nag-red and then nag-crack. That is Achilles tendon injuries due to running, jumping, and sa pag-landing. So, dili gyud na siya malikayan nga maing-ana ka. And it is very important nga ma-address gyud ni siya immediately nga injury. Kay if ever nga dili na siya ma-address, and then ang usa ka gymnast is there could be possible nga dili na siya gymnast otro, because tandugunon maguni siya ang atuang Achilles tendon. It is very important kay kumantay mo pag kaning wala ni siya is ang atuang tiil is wala kayo'y kusog, no, there is atuang lapalapan. It is very important to know nga ma-discuss ni o mabalan po nato kung unsa ning Achilles tendon injuries and what are the possible causes, no, and it is very important gid kaayo nga mabalan para ma-aware pud ta about ani ug unsa ang iyahang function. Kay pag mag-extend ta unya na nanaday tay kaning na-injured ay is sakit kaayo. There could be possible nga maghubag, no? Dili na nato ma-stretch og ayo ang ato ang feet, dili na kay nato magamit. So the next one is the shoulder injuries, which is the rotator cuff tears in gymnastic, which occur when one or more of the muscles or tendons in the shoulder's rotator cuff are overstretched or torn. These tears often results from the repetitive overhead movements such as swinging on bars, handstand, or tumbling. The constant use of the shoulder for this weight-bearing and dynamic motion cause strain, leading to either partial or complete tears, forceful movement, overuse, or improper technique. During routines are common causes of this injury resulting in pain, weakness, and limited shoulder mobility. So in gymnastics is nato ginatawag na ring gymnastics vault o kaning da kanang uneven bar. So in uneven bar is kaning mo na siya ang kanang gamit nato ang atoang hands ug sa atoang shoulders nga mao mag control sa katuang nga mag-perform ta sa atoang routine. And then that specific area in gymnastics is gina-control gid ang atoang body through sa atoang kamot o sa atoang shoulder. So kailangan gyud naka-control. And then pag naka-control na siya is that naa gyud na siya yung mga tuyok-tuyok sa imuhang sa routine as a gymnast. And then gakagamit gyud ang atoang hands, ang atoang shoulders. And then there could be a possible nga pag dili nimo ma-perform well ang imuhang kaning or technique or the proper execution is that there could be a possible nga magka-rotator cuff tears ta, no? Kaya nga to ang mga muscles samot na og kaning lugar naka-handstand naka-control and then buhian nimo something like sa ring. And then there could possible nga kaning makuan ang imuhang abaga. And then there could be a possible nga ang bone sa imuhang shoulder is ma-dislocate pod. Ma-overturn siya ba. And then gakahitabo gyud na siya sa bars, sa mga handstand, especially if nakalitan or na overstretch pod ang imuhang shoulder. That could cause the shoulder injuries which is sakit kaayo. Kay once nga pag magka-shoulder injuries ka, especially pag naana ka sa during the execution sa imuhang routine, there could be that could be your weakness. Kay dili naman nimo magamit imong shoulder, dili naman nimo ma-control ang imuhang body, imuhang kamot. Kaning limited na lang ang imuhang magamit pero dili na gyud nimo siya ma-perform well. So it is very important nga mabal-an nato ang shoulder injury, the proper techniques of kaning our shoulders or the handstands gyud para malikayan ni nga injury. The next one is the patellar tendonitis injury. So patellar tendonitis, also known as jumper's knee, is an overuse injury that occurs when the tendon connecting to the kneecap patella to the shin bone becomes inflamed. In gymnastics, this injury is caused by repetitive jumping, landing, squatting, or kneeling during routines. The constant stress of the knee joint from this movement can strain the patellar tendon, leading to the pain and swelling at the front of the knee. Poor landing techniques, overtraining, or lack proper warm-up can increase the risk of developing patellar tendonitis. So patellar tendonitis injuries is the patellar tendonitis is kaning malocate nato na siya dira sa atuang tuhod. Kabantay mo nang taas-taas siya diya. Ubos anang mura siya kaning lingin na part that one kaning linya nga paubos sa atuang feet. Mo na siya kanang naka-highlight diha nga the red one. And then magka-injury na siya if magsige ta og kaning landing, magsige tag jump or kneeling nga kaning ma-stretch siya o kaning og mag high impact pod or purposeful ang imuhang paglanding. There could be a possible nga mag-crack na siya or ma-irritate na nga bukog. And then pag overtraining pud ta sa amin sa kuan, dapat gid na gyud tay kaning adequate recovery gyud. Kay if overtrain man gud siya is magsamot pud siya og sakit, dili na ta kaning comfortable. So there are kaning so many techniques nga ato ang magamit pod na ana. So we need to educate ourselves about this injury because it needs a proper warm up. Dapat yun mag-warm up ta og kanang stability gyud sa ato ang mga ligaments, ato ang mga bukog, sa ato ang mga muscles para kuan gyud siya. Parehas ni Carlos Yulo. So it is very important to develop our kaning mga muscles and our mga joints and also sa ato ang patellar tendonitis. Kay it is kaning kuan mo siya mostly ang ato ang gakagamit pag mag-jump ta, maglanta. And then pag dili na to siya tagdun lang kung ma-injured ta is kaning dili na gyud ta functionable gyud, no? Makalihok ang atong upper body but the lower extremity is not very uncomfortable. And then pwede pod siya nga kaning mag-swelling gyud siya, maghubag gyud siya og maayo. So it is needed to have immediate action or mostly sa uban nga kaning matagaan og first aid diretso para dili mo lala. The next one is the meniscus tears injuries. So a meniscus tear injury is the cartilage in the knee. The meniscus is a C-shaped piece of cartilage that acts as a cushion between the shin bone and the thigh bone. In gymnastics, this injury often occurs when the knee is twisted or rotated forcefully while the foot is planted or when landing awkwardly from a jump or dismount. So, ang meniscus tears injuries or the meniscus is makita nato na siya sa kanang kabantay mo sa ato ang tuhod dara sa lower part nga before mag collide or before magtagbo ang mga bones sa tuang lower part o sa higher part sa tuang tuhod is naay letter C ana dira. And then magka-create ani nga injury if magsige taog jump or magsige taog ka twist or ma-rotate ang atoang knee forcefully sa pagland nato. Dili magid malikayan nga pag magland gyud is perfect gyud kay ang atoang pagland. There are different kinds of gymnastic is paglanding sa landing gyud sila masangit. It's because nga there could be possible nga ma-out of balance sila, ma-rotate ang ilahang knee. And then that was kaning one example of meniscus tears injuries nga makosa meniscus tears injuries. And then pag mag-jump ta nga kaning sa pag-jump nga kaning nakalit or kanang dili siya proper nga pagka-jump. So that could be a possible meniscus tears injuries, and it is very important to know para dili para malikayan pud siya o para dili siya ma-scratch or masigig maka-rotate ka maka-cause pud siya o kaning uncomfortable feeling sa usa ka gymnastics or isa ka gymnast. Next is the head injury, or what do we call concussion. It is a injury that occurs in gymnastics when the brain is jolted or shaken due to a blow to the head or body. This injury can result from falls, awkward landings, or collisions with equipment of the gymnast. Symptoms may include headaches, dizziness, confusion, and balance issues. The risk of concussion can be reduced through proper training techniques, adequate supervision, the use of safety measures. Prompt medical attention is essential for recovery and prevent further complications. So, in gymnastics, there is also what do we call a concussion. Kani siya is, mahitabo ni siya if ang usa ka gymnast is imbis ang iyahang tiil ang iland, ang iyahang ulo ang nalanding. So, there could be possible nga kanang mga gymnastic nga bisag dili nila kaya ang kana nga routine is gi-perform nila, and then that was one of the result. Tungod kay wala nila na-perform well, imbis nga kaning mo landing na sila through their feet, ang naland noon is ang ilahang ulo. And then it could affect our head and it could damage our brain. So kaning maka-feel ta og kaning headaches, mga dizziness or mga confused due to the imbalance issues. Napo na siya sa kaning dili proper ang land sa vault or sa ring or sa balance beam or uneven bars. There could be a possible nga imbis ang atuang feet or atuang kaning naka-bend ta pag land through to our feet, ang uban is wala nila nakaya nga kaning kuan. Kaya nagsige man sila o kaning roll sa ilahang routine. So sa pag-roll nila imbis ang ilahang feet ang magland, ang ilaan na noon ang head. So that could result to concussion, which is very complicated sa situation. Na possible nga madads gid ka ani. And there could be a possible nga dili na gid ka maka-perform og gymnastics. So it is very important gid no nga kaning mabal-an nato ang cause aning head injuries para kaning ma-perform well og matagaan og immediate actions or first aid or any other emergency procedures directly within that kaning certain situations. Samot nga pag kaning naapag yung mga equipment, so it needs a proper technique gyud. Technique is the key para para maiwasan nato na siya nga injury. So we're done with the common injuries. So we will be moving forward to the prevention of injuries on how to prevent injuries. So first is the proper technique. This is the cornerstone of safe gymnastics. Mastering proper technique minimizes stress or joint and muscles, preventing a wide range of wide range of common injuries, from landing techniques to the precise execution of every movement. A focus in a correct form is paramount. So proper technique is very important as a gymnast. Why? Because if you don't have proper technique, you are prone to accident. And if there could be an accident, and then you will be hurt. And then there could be a possible nga maghubag ang imuhang mga bones or any part sa imuhang body. So having proper technique is a way to execute properly the routine. So if you have the proper technique and then ma-minimize ang stress or repetitive stress injuries sa ato ang body nga na-cause sa mga muscles disturbance sa ato ang body. So to prevent the wide common injuries is to have the proper technique. So technique is the key to have a healthy, safe, and proper execution to have a powerful routine in gymnastics. So the next one is the strength and conditioning. Strong muscles provide support and stability, reducing the risk of strains, sprains, and overuse injuries. A well-designed strength and conditioning program should target all major muscles groups, ensuring that the body is adequately prepared for the demands of gymnastics. So as we all know, all gymnastics are getting trained strictly with their coaches, and then they've been trained in strength and conditioning. Why? Because their body needs to be prepared for their execution in gymnastics, because in gymnastics it needs to have the full body coordinations from their feet to their mind. It needs a strong focus, and then having a strong muscles and strong major muscles groups which is very strong, it could prevent any injuries to happen, because our body has been adapting or adapt the risk that could be possible to happen. And through strength and conditioning, we could prevent any kinds of injuries like overuse injuries, strain and sprain. Tungod kay naanad na ang ato ang body ana nga mag-execute. So next is adequate rest and recovery. So overuse injuries are common occurrence in gymnastics. Allowing the body sufficient time to rest and recover is crucial. This include prioritizing rest days, getting enough sleeps, and incorporating recovery strategies like stretching and foam rolling. So when you are a gymnast, it is very important yun nga napud kay time para mag pahulay. Why? Because tungod sa kaning ka-risky or tungod sa ka-tense sa inyong training, there could be a possible nga dili makaya sa imuhang lawas. So imuhang lawas kailangan gyud siya nga mag-rest. Why? Para maka-recover sa kaning intense nga training, and also pag maka-relax na siya, there would be a way para mag-adapt na po siya ang new strength sa training. And it is very important yun nga tagaan na to o kaning pagtagad ang adequate rest and recovery para makabawi ang ato ang lawas sa ato ang mga training. And this is the only way, or this is one of the way para ma-reduce ang any injuries. Next is the warm-up and stretch properly. So a proper warm-up prepares the body for training, increasing blood flow and muscle temperature. Dynamic stretching and mimicking the movements of gymnastic routines is particularly beneficial. Static stretching held to 15 to 30 seconds after the dynamic warm-up can improve flexibility. So warm-up and stretching properly is very important to reduce injuries or to prevent injuries. Why? Because kailangan yun nga i-stretch na to ang ato ang body, because as a gymnast, our body needs to be flexible and it needs a lot of extension or flexibility in performing the routine. And also, para dili makalitan ang ato ang lawas sa pag-perform. So, we need to stretch and to warm up. Why? To increase the blood flow para pag mag-perform na ta, iyas kaning kondisyon na ta para mag-perform sa routine, dili na ta luya, we become more active pag naka-warm up and stretch na ta. So kaning mabinat naman ang ato ang mga bukog or mga unsa pa na dira during the warm up and stretch properly. And then through that, para ma-extend na to ang angay extend, dili na diyud siya prone sa injury. Why? Because tatandog naman to ang angay tandugon. And then through that, the warm up and stretch properly, we become more flexible and we are ready to create the new step or to create new trainings nga needed sa ato ang body. So it needs a properly warm up and stretching in gymnastics. So next one is the wear proper gymnastic attire. The right clothing is essential for both safety performance. Leotards, specifically designed for gymnastics, offer several advantages. As we all know, in gymnastics, they have a specific gymnastic attire, which is the leotard. Why? Because leotard is often flexible nga makatawang sa atua para maka-execute properly sa atuang routine. So if we don't have the proper gymnastic attire, it could be a possible nga maka pa-injured sa atua, like if bukad ang atuang gisuot, so it could hinder our movements. And also if dili proper ang atuang attire, like bukad siya or dili ta our movements is limited. So the proper gymnastic attire is leotard is because very open kay ta kaning we are open to do what we want in our routine, and also flexible, and then kuan kayo siya kaning moving freely kay ta, dili sa gabal sa ato ang pamati. And it is very important to know and important to put in our mind that having a proper gymnastic attire is very essential as a gymnast. So the next one is use protective gear. So number 1 is the rest strap. Support your rest and prevent strain, specifically during handstands and other exercises that put stress on the wrist. So ang rest straps is makita nato ni siya pag ang gymnast is ga-perform siya sa uneven bars. So katong tulo nga uneven, na gamay, na taas, na poy dili kaayo taas. And through that is kanang mag-roll siya ba katong mag-round siya. And then digyas man jud na siya, and there could be a possible nga kanang ma-fall sila. So through the protective gear is makagrip ang usa ka gymnast sa tarong, and then ma-perform niya ang technique o ihang routine properly. So the second one is the hand protector. Wear this uneven bars and rings to protect your hands from calluses and blisters. So importante pud kayo siya to protect our hands for any harm. And also ginagamit po niya siya sa kaning rings, especially sa boys na kung siya nakita kay Carlos Yulo, and it is very essential po to perform having this para ma-avoid na to ang any kinds of injuries. So the third one is the belt with harnesses. Use this on uneven bars and rings to prevent falls. So kabantay mo sa kanang mga gymnast through their trainings is naagid sila yung mga belt, especially sa kanang mag-perform na lagi kanang belt with harnesses para ma-maintain ilahang hip movement and strong body stability para ma-prevent ang any kind of injuries like dislocation sa atuang hips. So the next one is to prevent injuries is follow coach instructions. So why we need to follow our coach instructions? Your coach is valuable resource for guidance and safety. Listen carefully to their instructions both during training and specific skills. They are trained to identify potential risks and ensure a safety environment. So as we all know, our coaches is the most expert. So kabalo na sila kung kaning unsay mahitabo sa tuwa pag i-perform na siya. And then kabalo na sila what could be the possible risk or what would be the technique needed para ma-perform na to nga activity. So kailangan gyud nato i-follow nila ang ilang instruction kay tungod kay it will serve as our safety guidelines para mapalayo ta sa any kinds of injuries or mga fractures. So the next one is communicate with your coach. If you feel pain or discomfort, tell your coach immediately. Don't try to push through it. Early intervention can often prevent minor injuries from becoming more serious. So if kaning naa kay gipamati or naa kay feel uncomfortable, kailangan gyud ka makipag-communicate sa imuhang coach tungod kay kabalo sila kung unsay angay buhaton ug para pud matagaan og kaning immediate action. Kay tungod kay pag dili ni siya matagaan og immediate action, there could be a possible nga mas mulala pa gyud na siya. And then it could give the minor injuries or it can cause also to a major injury. So it is very important yun nga makipag-communicate ka on what you feel, and then you need to be transparent. Kay if dili ka transparent sa ila, and then you're putting yourself into harm, you're putting yourself into danger. So you need to trust your coach, communicate with him or her in order for you to be safe and to become a good gymnast also. So as a gymnast, also you need to know your limits. Don't attempt skills you're not ready for. Progress gradually and avoid pushing yourself beyond your current abilities. Be patient and consistent in your training, allowing your skills to develop naturally. So as a gymnast, naa magyud tay kaning mga weakness, no? As a gymnast, so if kaning kabalo na ganita nga dira ra ta naman, dapat dira ra gyud ta mag-focus. Dili gyud pwede nga kaning mas mulabaw pa gyud ka or mas buhaton pa gyud nimo ang imong gusto buhaton. Kay kung imong gusto nga buhaton is mo ay masunod, then there could be possible nga your life will be put into danger. Tungod kay imong body is wala na immune ana nga risk, but then imuha gyud gi push through no nga buhaton, and then it could cause danger. Wala ka kabalo kung unsa yang mahitabo, and there could be possible nga ma-deads pa jud ka. So know your limits, no? Dili mag-attempt og skills nga dili kaya nga wala na praktisan. So the next one is avoid collision. Be aware of the gymnast and maintain safe distance to prevent accidents. So communication and awareness are essential in training environment where multiple athletes are working together. So to avoid any injuries is you need to be widened your knowledge, or to be mapagmatyag. Dapat tan-awon gyud nimo ang uban nimo athletes kung duol ba siya sa imo. Dapat gyud nga in the area kung mag-perform ka, dapat wala gyud lain nga athlete kung dili ikaw. You need to be mapagmatyag. Why? Para ma-reduce ang danger, para wala kay maigo or kaning it could put you away from harm, no? To have a kaning safety environment or place para i-perform ang imuhang routine, which is very essential as an athlete gyud. And it has a very good characteristics nga pag naakaana is you can do more and you are a better gymnast too. So having this good area or personality of yourself, then it would be more effective for you to perform well in this routine or at the event. So the next one is listen to your body. If you're feeling tired or sore, take a break. Don't ignore your body signals. Rest and recovery are crucial for preventing overuse injuries. So being in a gymnastic area or being in a gymnastic field, no? So we couldn't prevent to feel uncomfortable or any other feeling which could be or could give you a discomfort, no? So if you feel tired or so, then relax. That could be a signal for you to rest and to recover from any tense trainings. So to prevent any overuse injuries like na sige kay training and then you perform, feel free to relax and recover. Then it could help you to be more educated into the area, that you are running into. So it is very important to listen to your body, so that you can know what would be the next step and what could be the possible outcome of your actions. So next is stay hydrated. So as a gymnast, water is essential for muscle function and recovery. Drink plenty of water throughout the day, especially during and after training. So in gymnastics, there is a tense training, and it is very important to to stay hydrated. Why? Because you can perform properly, or your muscles would be function properly if there is a water that could fuel and energy of it. So so that your body could be recover after the intense training. So water is very essential in performing well, to have a good routine, because water would help you to fill out or to fuel the energy that you needed the most. So next is the well-rounded diet. Fuel your body with nutritious food to support your training and recovery. A balanced diet provides the energy and nutrients needed for optimal performance and injury prevention. So when we are performing as a person or as a human being, we need food to fuel our body with the nutrients that we needed in order for us to perform properly or to perform actively. So we need to eat the glow, and grow foods, which could give us energy, strengthen our muscles, our body, and also to prevent any kinds of diseases. So through a well-rounded diet, it could shape our body. Also, it could shape our body to have a proper diet, which could help our body have a good resistance in performing our routine. So having a good diet help us to shape our body to have a full body coordinations with different kinds of nutrients given by food. So in addition, to perform well and to have a strength and conditioning in our body parts, we need to perform different kinds of our exercises. For example, is the straight leg races, proper landing mechanics, band walks or glutes, hip strengths, stretching, the hip flexors, the quads, and also the balance board proprioceptions, strength of the band exercises, the dorsiflexion, plantar flexions, inversions, and eversions. So it is very important to perform different kinds of exercises which could help to strengthen our bones, our muscles, and also to have the different kinds of body compositions that we need to have and we need to perform to have a good healthy habits, healthy lifestyle, and to have a full body coordination, a strong body coordination in performing gymnastics.
So now we will tackle about the emergency procedure. So what is emergency procedure? Emergency procedure in gymnastics designed to respond quickly and effectively to injuries and emergency. This ensure the safety and well-being of a gymnast or coaches and spectators. So, naay 6 ka emergency procedure. Number 1 is preparation and planning. So, emergency action plan or EAP. Every gym should have a well documented emergency action plan and outlines the step to take a various emergency. So every gym is naadyo siya dapat nga well documented nga mga emergency action plan. Then training. So all staff including mga coaches, ang mga support personnel should be trained in doing the first aid. Then emergency contacts. So maintain and update list of emergency contacts sa mga athletes, especially sa ilahang mga parents, sa ilahang guardians. Then og sa local emergency, kay if na something mahitabo dali ani mo sila matawagan, di ba? Then 2 is immediate response. So first is stop the activity. So immediately stop the activity para ma-prevent ang mga further injuries. Then assess the situation. So quickly determine the severity of the injury or emergency, including na ang pag-check sa consciousness niya, kung naghihinawa pa ba, or iyahang mga vital signs. Then first aid. So i-stabilize ang athlete. So if there is the risk of spinal injury, dili nimo dapat i-move ang athletes unless they are immediately in danger. Then i-stabilize nimo ilahang head o ilahang neck. Then para ma-prevent ang injury. So controlled bleeding. So apply pressure to any bleeding wounds. Maggamit din ka og kanang clean nga cloth or mga sterile bandage. Then treat for shock. So keep the athlete calm and warm. Then para ma-prevent ang treat shock, if possible, elevate nimo ilahang legs para masuspect sa ang spinal injury. Then CPR. If the athlete is not breathing or kanang wala na siya pulse, mag-start na rin ka og CPR sa iyaha. And then fourth is communication. Then contact parents. So notify the athletes parents, guardians. So if naay mahitabo sa athletes, dapat ma-notify nimo ang iyahang parents dito or mga guardians as soon as possible. Incident report. So naa dapat kay ang every gym, so naa dapat detailed nga kanang document sa nahitabo, kung sa'y nahitabuan nga day. Especially kung naay kanang nahitabo nga mga injury, mga accident bitaw. Yeah. Then fifth is post-incident care. So follow-up care. So i-ensure na ang mga gymnasts ma-receive nila ang appropriate nga medical follow-up check-up. Then emotional support. So mag-provide jud ka og support sa mga injured gymnast or sa mga or sa kanang naapi bitaw sa accident. Then debriefing. So after sa accident, magpatawag ka og briefing session para ma-review ninyo kung unsa ang hitabo, then makuha ninyo, matakaw ninyo kung unsa ang dapat buhaton, kung saan paglikay din unsaon pag-improve nga dili na siya mahitabo og balik. 6 is prevention and maintenance. So, safety equipment. So, regularly inspect jud ang i-maintain gyud inspect ang all safety nga mga equipment including sa mats, sa spotting belts, and sa gym mga apparatus, mga gamit to nga ginagamit sa gymnast para ma-prevent ang mga injuries sa sunod. Then, proper techniques. So, i-emphasize ang importante sa pag-warm up bitaw para ma-reduce ang mga risk and injuries. Then, education. So, continuously educate the gymnast kanang how to safety in practices, mga proper techniques, mga importance sa pagpaminaw sa lawas. Kung ikaw gali nga gymnast ka, din lain ang paminaw, di na ka mag-training para ma-prevent nimo ang mga injuries. Dili ka malikay ka sa mga injuries nga mahitabo or sa accident.